Hi. You settled in okay? I've been getting to know the new team and the facilities. I reckon there's a lot of potential here. Anyway, I'll see you in the garage, okay?
What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode and the start of season 4. And as you can see, we are part of Mercedes AMG Petronas. Now hopefully you guys are looking forward to the season ahead, and hopefully it's going to be a very exciting one. I needed this change to go to Force India, go to a different team, to go to Mercedes, get away from Force India and freshen things up a little bit. And I'm very excited to be here. And as you can see on screen right now, we're looking at how Mercedes stacks up in terms of the R&D. And as you can see, a few upgrades, but here's what's the main thing that they've been doing over the last 3 seasons. You can see in each one, in the sort of columns, they've been focusing on quality control. So essentially, whenever they bring an upgrade, the part doesn't foul at all. So basically, any upgrades that we get on this car in the future, there's a pretty high chance that they're going to be fine and not fail, which is good work done by Mercedes. But at the same time, I wish they would have invested in maybe making the parts a bit cheaper. Either way, not too shabby as we jump into Friday practice for the first ever practice session in our new Mercedes car. And I've got to say, it's looking absolutely fabulous. Brand new helmet, brand new gloves, brand new boots to commemorate a certain favourite driver of mine. And I'm looking very much forward to jumping into the season, guys. And hopefully we can retain our World Drivers' Championship crown in this new team. Obviously, Force India still pushing on without me, replacing me with Sergio Perez, and I'm actually replacing Valtteri Bottas in this team, guys. A lot of you thought that because I got the first driver contract, I was replacing Hamilton. I'm actually replacing Bottas, so Lewis Hamilton is my teammate here in Mercedes. So a very strong lineup here by Mercedes AMG Petronas for this season. But as you can see, we're jumping into the first practice session now and focusing on trying to get the car shaken down and ready for the weekend. And so far the car is working absolutely beautifully. Really nice car to drive. It does need a bit of work, I've got to admit. And straight off the bat, I've got to say, like, based off of the R&D tree and something that I noticed over the race weekend, the main focus for the next few races, at least the first part of the season, is going to have to be durability. We need to really get the reliability up on this car because the parts wear out very fast indeed, and it's much faster than the Force India. So we are going to have to spend R&D points early on making this car reliable, and then later on down the season we can make it faster. But for now, we need to focus on getting the R&D points to make this car a bit more of a safer machine to drive, because otherwise we are going to be struggling with penalties and everything later on in the season. But as you can see, we are now going to jump into Saturday qualifying, and in Q1 we actually opted for the slower super soft tyre compared to the ultra soft for our first lap in Q1, and a pretty good opening lap there for P4 behind Sebastian Vettel ahead of Max Verstappen. So not a bad way to kick off the first qualifying session of the season, and eventually we will end up the session in P5. Sergio Perez there and Esteban Ocon in the top 3 for both of the Force Indias. Incredible result for those. But now into Q2, as you can see on the ultra soft tyres now, fastest first sector and a little bit further behind in the middle sector, but still very much on the pace. Perez setting the pace for Force India up front, and as we come across the line now, we are going to go fastest by setting the fastest final sector and first place in Q2. The question is, are we going to hold on to that? Yes, we are. So there you go. You might be wondering why we opted for ultra softs. There is heavy rain expected for the start of the race tomorrow, so there is absolutely no point in using the super softs to qualify in Q2. So now I'm going to jump into Q3 for my best lap in the session, and it's actually my first lap and my only lap because I want to try and save the engine due to the wear. So here we go into the first corner. Very nice run through there. Really aggressive, using all the track available. It's on strict corner cutting, guys, this season, so if I make any mistakes you will see them. But as you can see now, into turn number 3, third gear corner. Very nice run through as we now short shift to 4th gear, then another short shift into 5th through turn 4, and then through turn 5 absolutely flat out, using all of the track available to you, and now running up to the first sector split into turn number 6. Fastest in the first sector so far. 4th gear corner, use all the curb on exit, and then flat out through this swooping right hander. And now get ready for the brake zone, and use the reference points on the left hand side on the little orange brake meter boards as we get a 4th gear right hand 90 degree right hander. They're very good run through there, trying to get the power on as soon as possible on the back straight. And now across the second sector split and into the far chicane, the 2 best corners on the track. Really a lot of speed through there, really trying to push the car. I just run it a bit wide, make a mistake, and that's going to invalidate my lap time. I didn't lose the back end, like I kept on going, but unfortunately because of the strict corner cutting rules, my lap has been cancelled. So unfortunately, in my only attempt in qualifying to try and save the engine, risking it on one lap, we've only qualified 10th, and it's a disappointing qualifying to start off the season. Lewis Hamilton bagged himself a P3 behind a Ferrari front row, and Sergio Perez in his return to Formula 1 in P4, very good result for him there, out qualifying Esteban Ocon. But that's going to wrap things up for qualifying, and we are going to move into Sunday for the race for the start of season 4 and the Australian Grand Prix. Right, so it's race day at Australia, the first race of Season 4, and the conditions are very, very tricky indeed. Full wet conditions, full wet tyres at the moment in these current state of the climate, and P10 on the grid for us, a very, very odd grid position, and not one that I'm accustomed to, but obviously I made a mistake in qualifying, and the strict corner cutting punished me pretty heavily, so I'm paying the price of that, starting from P10 on the grid, and overall, I'm looking forward to the race there, because we've been blessed with a little bit of weather, and a little bit of the weather strategy change, so we'll be starting on the full wets, we'll be on these tyres for a little while, then eventually switching to inters with the possibility of dry tyres by the very end of the race, but it's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to underfuel the car by around 1.5 laps to try and be a bit more aggressive, but I'm looking forward to it. Wet races always promise to be very exciting, and I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully we can debut in the Mercedes in a good way and have a good race, and hopefully we can put in a good performance, so I'm looking forward to it. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight to the first race of Season 4 here, down under, for the first race down in Australia. So let's jump straight into the race. Right then, here we go. 5 red lights for the first race of the season. And it's lights out, and away we go for Australia, and Season 4 is go, go, go. Let's try and have a good start here. A little bit of a wheel spin in the second phase, but I needed to get that wheel spin just to get a good start here. We've got nobody on the inside, so we're pretty good going into turn 1. So we got the inside of Massa and Nico Hulkenberg. I can't see a thing in these conditions. It's an absolute monsoon here at Australia as we fly past Carlos Sainz in a straight line, and we're up into 7th place already, so very good start to this race and a very good position so far. Lewis Hamilton in P3, my teammate Ferrari 1-2 up ahead, standard affairs from the last 3 seasons, and let's see what we can do here. Obviously we're starting from P10, we're up to P7 already, so very good start to this race. Now it's a bit of an experiment, and to see how this Mercedes car handles in these wet conditions, which is something that I've not discovered yet. I'm expecting to be a little bit better than Force India, and speaking of Force India, I think we might have a run on Esteban Ocon here through this next section. Can we go for a lunge on the brakes? I think we can. We're just going to slow on up the inside. I'm going to leave him the room on the left hand side as Ocon does have the racing line. I'm going to go around the outside and pick up the traction. Very nice indeed, and we've got our proper power unit this time to really try and power past my former teammate, and there we go, we're up into 6th place, so a very good opening lap here in Australia, and this Mercedes car feels very good in these wet conditions. Also, me running a higher aero on purpose is actually paying off. Meanwhile, Ocon is actually coming back at me here around the outside, to be fair to him, so we've got to try and fight him as he goes around the outside. I'm just going to squeeze him out, and there we go. But like I said, I'm running pretty high wings, and that sort of compromised my qualifying straight line speed, but I was hoping for it to benefit me here in the race, and so far it seems to be doing the trick. But so far we're 1 lap down, and we've made 4 places on the first lap of the race here. Oh, Verstappen just made a little mistake there. He's got a little bit flustered under braking. I'm just going to slide past there. I don't know what was going on, but Verstappen just getting all out of shape into the brake zone, and that's given me the opportunity to slide past, and I'm up into P5. So very good start to this race. Very good pace so far, matching the Ferraris actually. So we're looking pretty good so far, pretty nifty, and the car's handling very nicely. Also, rain's about to ease up in 5 minutes time, so it looks like we could be into slightly earlier than expected as the conditions start to change here at Albert Park. But so far, P5 are making solid progress. Right, fastest lap of the race, and lap times are starting to drop a little bit now. Vettel just set the fastest lap, and I've set now the fastest lap of the Grand Prix into the 1 minute 38, so the pace is picking up here. The track's starting to dry up a little bit, and I think the worst of the conditions has now passed, and I've got to say the pace for the front 4 is very, very good. I mean, I'm on the limit every single lap, doing personal best after personal best, but this top 4 is just so fast. Like, we're stretching the pack out so much, and also it's just good to see that everyone's so close for pace. I mean, the Force India that I just left with Perez now racing in my old seat, such good pace in P4. I'm very, very impressed by his race performance so far, but it just goes to show how close to the top 4 teams are this season. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Okay, small sit rep. Hulkenberg and Lance Stroll have been the first 2 retirements of the season. Meanwhile, we are closing in now on Checo Perez here, so we could be lining him up for a move fairly soon, as we are just starting to edge him closer and closer now, and within a couple of laps I reckon I could be right on his tail. So let's keep pushing here. Pace is very good, and the track is drying out. Okay, so I'm going to come in for intermediates. I think it's time, and the team recommends me to come in for the inters, so we're going to take a risk here, and hopefully it pays off. So I've gone way too conservative for the pit entry, but still not going to worry about that too much. Hopefully we can have a good stop, and fingers crossed this is the right call. We're not taking a huge risk. I mean, the rain has definitely died down. It's now officially labelled as light rain, so We'll see how that goes. It's expected to stay like this in the conditions for a little while, for at least 20 minutes. So it looks like we're going to be running into this for a little while. But let's see what these tyres are like. I might have made the complete wrong call here. So let's try and get a feel for the track conditions and see what it's like. So far, feels good out the pit lane. No wheel spin. The question is, do we have grip into turn 1? Yes, we do. So I think that might have been the right call. Are we going to traction up okay through here? Yes, we are. Let's just try and keep Grosjean behind. There we go. Right. I think we might be on the right tyres here. Just got to do a few more corners with it. That's definitely the right tyre, purple middle sector. I wouldn't say it's completely intermediate just yet. The wet still can hold up. But right now, we are faster. So right now, we're on the course for an undercut on Sergio Perez. So if he doesn't pit this lap, I think I'm going to undercut him quite comfortably. Right, I'm in a slipstream of Kvyat here. Do we have enough grip to go for a dive? Not quite. That was a little bit too premature. But we've definitely got the grip on these tyres. It's definitely intermediates. I mean, look at the traction I've got. I'm just going to make the move on him, to be honest, because I'm just too quick. So there we go. We're just going to barge our way through because I've just got more grip through the corners than the AI. Under braking, I haven't got the confidence than the AI are faster, but through the corners, at least the cornering speed is better on the inters. So right now, it looks like we are slightly faster, and the track is only going to get better as the laps go on. Oh, Sergio Perez out of the race. Third retirement at the Grand Prix, and that's a big one. That's the guy that we were trying to undercut, so that's going to definitely give me P4 now. So massive progress. It's now a Ferrari 1-2 and a Mercedes 3-4. So I've pulled up mine in the bargain, recovering from my qualifying result. But so far, I mean, look at the pace we've got. I'm all over the back of Carlos Sainz now. I've caught up to him so quickly. And obviously, now we've got to see if people do come in. It looks like no one's coming in yet for inters. Everyone's committing to the full wet tyres, which is... it's baffling to me because the intermediate is the faster tyre. Here we go then. Sainz goes defensive to the inside. We set a fast lap of the Grand Prix. I'm just going to go clean around the outside of Sainz because of the extra grip I have. So I don't know what the AI are doing, but I'm the man on the move right now. Right, Ocon and Verstappen on the first two to pit for intermediates. And also Raikkonen, I can just see in front of us on inters. So Raikkonen has also made the jump. So Hamilton, who stayed out for one more lap, and also Sebastian has also stayed out. So those two, I think, still on wet, which is very interesting. But Raikkonen has taken the plunge, and obviously me and Raikkonen, no love lost there in terms of our history. So he's now on the inter. So we're going to see what our pace is like, and if we can catch him and also match him for pace, we'll see what it's like. But for now, I think we've undercut Hamilton, to be honest. I think we've done enough. So we'll see when he pits. I'm going to guess at the end of this lap, but still, you never know. Okay, so Lewis and Sebastian have finally pit. I believe Vettel was leading the race, so we'll see how that all shakes up. I think Vettel will remain in the lead, but Hamilton's on my right-hand side. There he is, fast up the Grand Prix for me, and I'm going to undercut Lewis Hamilton. So we're now up into third place. So there you go, the strategy call to dive onto the inters. I think I pretty much timed that to perfection, to be honest. So there we go, we're now in a podium position, and we managed to undercut Lewis Hamilton. So very, very good race pace here today on Sunday in the wet conditions. This Mercedes car works much nicer than the Force India in these wet conditions, but the question is, can we do anything else? Can we go one step further and try and get those Ferraris? We'll have to wait and see, but for now, P3, I'll be very happy with the race finish like this, but you never know what could happen. Little sit rep right now, the pace is so similar. The top four just so equal for pace, and no one's taking any time off of each other right now. It's so intriguing. Everyone, I think, pushing to the absolute max, almost like Brazil in real life in the race that just went by between Vettel, Bottas and Raikkonen. Just the three, such similar pace, pushing, and that's definitely what it feels like right now. I'm seeing good lap times, but I can't make any major inroads on Kimi Raikkonen, and Hamilton isn't gaining any time on me, and also Raikkonen isn't really catching Vettel either, so it's all just equally spread out. Right, track's starting to dry out now. Apparently the rain's going to stop in just under 10 minutes, so there is a chance we could be on dries before the end of the race here, depending on when the wet weather goes away. But the lap times are starting to drop again, so that's always something to keep in mind. Also, my tyres are starting to go off because obviously mine are a few laps more worn than the other guys, and I've just been doing a couple of front lockups, which is something I've got to keep an eye on. So the track is definitely drying out. Okay, I think, yeah, Raikkonen's in the pit lane, so I think he's going to go for another set of inters. So Raikkonen's having some issues there. He couldn't make those work, and he's gone for a fresh set of inters. So that's gifted me second place, and that's gifted Hamilton P3. So the AI couldn't make their inters last, especially Kimi Raikkonen. I wonder if Sebastian will pit this lap for fresh inters, because if he does, then that is going to be a game changer, and that's going to be serving me the race win on a silver platter. So let's just see how this develops, but we could be in the lead of the race by the end of this lap. Okay, Sebastian has come in for a fresh set of intermediate tyres, and I think, no, Lewis Hamilton stays out. I think because I'm scheduled to pit, Lewis is not pitting because he doesn't want to disturb me, and also obviously doesn't want to stack up. Talking about in terms of AI intelligence here, so As long as I don't pit, Lewis isn't going to pit either. So that's pretty good for me. So I think Lewis will pit though eventually after X amount of laps. I don't think he'll be able to go to the end on those, which is disappointing. But either way, I'm now leading the race out of nowhere. I can understand what AI pitting because the tyres are starting to get second hand. And if this track doesn't dry up, I'm going to be on very thin rubber at the end of the Grand Prix on these intermediates. And to be fair, Raikkonen and Vettel might actually have a chance of coming back at me because of the fresher intermediates. So I've still got to try and pick up the pace here whilst trying to keep my tyres in. And I need this track to dry out so I can actually go and dry tyres, because otherwise I'm basically walking towards hitting the cliff, which is not what I want to do. So hopefully the track dries up. Oh, a bit wide there, just back end stepping out, running out of rubber slightly there. Just the back end did not want to commit to the corner. So that's the first sign that the tyres are just starting to let go of me. Also, I've got to try and get the fuel back onto marginal. I don't want to use lean because I'm going to lose too much lap time. I'm about 0.2 off, so I reckon I can just about get that back in about 3 or 4 laps time. But it's becoming a bit of a last few laps challenge as I cut that corner an absolute treat because there's a little bit of a screen freeze there. But the tyres are letting go and it's very, very concerning now. And Vettel is gaining about 1.5 seconds a lap here. This is going to get very tense. Oh wow, 35.7. Jesus, that's like 2 seconds faster than me. Vettel's only 10 seconds behind. And my tyres are fading. And the worst thing is, we're catching traffic and Hamilton is catching me up. We could be battling here for the race win. And that's going to let the Ferraris catch up even more. So this is going to be very close. If I make one mistake, it's game over. It's too late now to go into dry tyres. We've got to commit now to going to the end of the race on these tyres. As you can see there, my left-hand side tyres are screaming. And we've still got another 2.5 laps to go yet. This is going to be a very long final few laps. Okay, I'm being severely held up now by Grosjean and Alonso, who are battling here. Grosjean's going to pull to the inside, but he's not actually slowing down, which is very frustrating. So he's going to do something stupid in turn 1. I know he is on the apex. He's going to slow right down. Oh, no. Grosjean, mate. Oh, come on, get down the gears. Oh, I could see that coming from a mile back as well. Oh, damn it. That's not helping. That's not going to help the cause. Luckily, I kept my front wing in one piece because I just knew what Grosjean was going to do. The AI are so retarded sometimes. But we've managed to just hold on. But now Hamilton is giving me the hurry up. And we've easily must have lost like a second or two to Vettel there. So this is going to get very intense. Right, on to the last lap here. Can we survive one more lap? Let's try and go for it here. I've got hardly no tyres. Vettel is pushing like a maniac. He's just behind us. And Hamilton is still there. I'm running out of tyres here. Here comes Lewis. There's no DRS luckily, but he is gaining. So I'm just going to go defensive slightly and cover the inside. But I've just got no grip on the left-hand side of the tyres. And even the right ones are struggling to keep up here. But it's getting very tricky at the moment to hold on. Oh, the understeer I've got through there is absolutely horrific. Here comes Lewis. He's just stuck his nose in. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Right, Lewis has gone for the move. Have I got any tyres left around the outside? Bit of argy-bargy. I'm going to hold it, though. And Lewis has had contact, I think, with Grosjean and Vettel. So we are going to hold on just about. I think I've hit the cliff on the left front at least. I've got no grip left. DRS is now enabled. We've got one more corner to negotiate here. I've got to take it very carefully. And we've managed to hold on. And I think we're going to win the first race of the season. Oh my God. We've done it. What a race. Oh, wow. Oh, whew. Jeez. First race in Mercedes. And we win the Australian Grand Prix from 10th place on the grid. Absolutely incredible. Oh, the tyres were absolutely gone at that point. Also, DRS wasn't able on that last pit straight, so it was officially dry tyre territory at that point. So even if I was on fresh inters, the pace wouldn't have been great anyway. But look at that. New helmet, new look, new team, top step of the podium, and a 25 points. Absolutely brilliant. And we win in Australia. I need a breather after that. That got really, really intense in the end there. And I think I got a count of lucky stars that Grosjean was actually in between the sandwich of Hamilton and Vettel, because if he wasn't there, I think Vettel might have been ready to pick up the scraps if we weren't ready, you know. So overall, very, very good race. And look at the tyre there on the right hand side, absolutely shot to bits. But there we go. That was the first race of the season, and what an incredible race. And we're now going to move into the race results, drivers and constructor standings for the first time this season, and see how things shape up after the absolutely crazy Australian Grand Prix. Right, so looking at the final race results after that incredible race, it's a 1-2 for Mercedes in my first race for the team. How about that for an impact as we lead Lewis Hamilton home, and then Vettel rounds up the podium. Then Kimi Raikkonen in P4, both of the Ferraris almost pulling off the comeback thanks to my struggles and my tyres hitting the cliff there. Max Verstappen in P5 for Red Bull, Esteban Ocon the lead in Force India, and then Carlos Sainz and Danny Kvyat scoring double points for Toro Rosso, Massa and Palmer rounding out the top 10. Ricciardo in his home race just missing out on the points. In terms of retirements this race, Lance Stroll, Nico Hulkenberg and Sergio Perez all retiring from the Grand Prix. But in terms of the driver standings, obviously nothing major here as it all stays basically in race order. But in terms of the constructors though, we are leading the way as a Mercedes constructor, and we haven't said that for a couple of years. Obviously Ferrari have won everything since I've started this career mode, so Mercedes back on top in this career mode. We're now going to jump into the laptop and explain to you guys a little bit just how we're going to take forward the R&D for the next few races. Right, so we're here on the core competency progress screen. This is a big thing because obviously it's very important that we get this upgraded, because basically it got reset after Force India, so we've got to do all the classic events and all that sort of stuff to try and improve these. As you can see, we've just got the first one here, the first driver bonus, and you get a 5% extra on the resource points, and obviously down the line we can get more bonuses as we progress. But here's the big one. I've got to do basically 3 classic events to improve obviously the time that it takes to bring the upgrades, and obviously this can improve the more classic events I'll do, up to 20 in this case. So I've really got to start doing those to try and improve the the upgrade speed. Also I can do simultaneous development on more than one part, which is also very important. So yeah, we'll have to see, but obviously two upgrades per department, it will be the next upgrade, and also the pit stop efficiency as well, very important. So a lot of things there we've got to take into account. But as we can only do one upgrade at a time until we unlock those achievements, we're going to have to just go one upgrade at a time. And my plan for this car at the moment is to improve the durability. We need to get the reliability up on this car because the engine's already worrying so much compared to the Force India, so we need to get this car up to scratch. Like, we need to get all the components on level 2 and then get the gearbox in at least level 3. So we're going to jump straight in and get the AMG UK, and hopefully that should arrive for China. Then after that, once we've got that on level 1, we can then get obviously what's remaining to get onto level 2, and then we'll move on to the gearbox. Gearbox also very important because obviously we'll get penalties from that as well. So there's so many places we need to improve on the car, but I'm going to focus on this part of the car at least until Spain or Monaco. We need to get the reliability up, it's very important, and once we've got a solid base of a car, then we can start building on performance. But obviously until that's done, then there's nowhere we're going to go. So other than that guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode, an absolutely incredible first episode for the brand new Mercedes AMG team, and I really enjoyed this one. If you guys did enjoy it, then slap a like on the video. Let's see if we can try and smash 350 likes, even though, you know what, let's try and smash 400 likes on this episode. Also subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for future F1 content, and also check out the videos on screen right now if you have missed them, and also check out the playlist and watch the last 3 seasons with me in the Force India if you did miss any of the possible episodes to see how we got to this point. And also do check out GT Omega and the links down below in the description. Use the code TOM87 for a 5% at discount. But other than that guys, hopefully you have enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in my next video very soon at China. But until then, goodbye.